Welcome to the Conductors Workshop. I'm Harry Bulow, and today we're going to talk with Dr. Ishbah Cox. Dr. Cox is director of the Symphonic Band at Purdue University, and he's directed just about every other band on campus at one time or another. He's a fine musician. He performs regularly on the euphonium. He started the brass ensemble here at Purdue. He's done just about everything. He's a fine composer and arranger, and he's a tremendous conductor. I've seen him conduct in many times, many concerts, and he brings a vitality and an energy and a urgency to any type of performance. He's done a couple pieces of mine, and they've been tremendous performances. So we'd just like to welcome Dr. Ishbah Cox.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. I don't know what to say about that introduction.
Well, it's you deserve every bit, because it's you've been doing a lot of work out there in the trenches, so we really appreciate your commitment to devotion. So let me just ask you to start off, what have you found as maybe a conductor, composer, performer that's been so satisfying for your life so far?
Yeah. Well, I first have to acknowledge that I've been blessed with so many amazing mentors, teachers, and friends. And the building of networks. Music has afforded me to build those relationships and allow me to see parts of the world that I've never even dreamed of seeing. Sure. But specifically as a conductor, to be able to bring a work to life from the beginning with a group of musicians, from various backgrounds, there's something special about that. And then a step further, to have a composer there to share that experience with. You were there, you already mentioned about the Rapid City Overture that we premiered, and to give the work dutiful performance, a performance that was acceptable in the eyes of the composer. That's the ultimate.
It was more than acceptable. It was very fine, very fine.
And again, to be able to collaborate with, in this case, the students, and to see that vision from paper come to life, and then share that experience with the audience live, it's hard to describe. Actually, it's difficult to describe in words. Yeah. As an arranger, this is humbling. I think about my times at Notasulga, Alabama, Notasulga High School. I could never dream of having a work published by me, a piece published by Hal Leonard, and written by me, and then have students from wherever come and say to me, "Are you Ishbah Cox?" They recognize a picture or the name, and say to me that I enjoyed that particular arrangement. That's humbling to me. And, so those have been just a couple of examples. Okay,
so when you are approaching conducting a new work, what do you find, what do you look for? Is there something that speaks to you in a piece? You decide, well, I want to do this piece because of X, Y, Z, or how does that work?
Well, it depends on the piece that I'm performing. Obviously, I have to study the piece, figure out what the piece is about. And then there's a voice that I have to project within the work. So, and do through gesture and studying balance and all the technical aspects. But it's amazing with all of the newer works, composers, living composers like yourself. We have an opportunity to make contact. There's a question that I have about a 16 measure excerpt. I'll ask the composer like, okay, what did you mean here? What are you doing?
Not that they have the answer all the time.
Okay, well, I respect their answer because they've lived with it, and they obviously have a connection to the piece, and there's a certain sound that they want. So at least I have that option. And when the composer is not there, I have to use my training and and come up with a decision, and then we work as an ensemble to make that happen.
Of course.
Try to be inspirational within the music.
Yeah. Well, as a composer myself, I think that can change, as you know, in your own, because sometimes groups will play rhythms that are the rhythms you wrote, but they really come out in a different way. So I'd be curious how in some of your jazz rock tunes, Was when Purdue Band played, all did a terrific job with them.
Yeah.
Was there anything like that in some of those that you go, oh shoot, that came out a little different? I kind of like how they did that.
It's amazing what you hear on the finale
Yeah.
screen, the MIDI playback is totally
Yeah.
different when you get into live musicians, both good and bad.
Yeah.
And we learn from that. But yeah, sometimes it works out that way.
Yeah.
What you thought you were hearing and put on paper and then hearing it live is not necessarily the way it works out. But that's the fun part.
That's
Even the
right.
bad, the whole experience of writing something and hearing something and then adapting it for a special ensemble, which is what I've done mostly, arranging, just adapting it for a particular ensemble. And then hearing it back, and then it works, and it's really
That's
special.
really
When that
exciting.
doesn't, then you're like, okay, I can't do that. That's
Well,
probably
that's the learning process why we go through the whole thing. But do you have any advice for young conductors, arrangers, composers, people who are in the music craft? And
oh man, there's so much. Continue to learn. I've been doing this for a little while, but not as long as some of my colleagues and mentors. But I can tell you that they would say that they're still learning the craft. I think it's okay to be vulnerable. I think that Jimmy Valvano's speech talked about in the run of a day, it's okay to cry. In the run of a day, it's okay to laugh.
Sure.
And the run of a day, it's okay to think. And it's amazing when you're making music, all of that stuff can happen within one ensemble. It's pretty special.
Oh, yeah.
Within one rehearsal.
One rehearsal,
Well, just
crying
one
and
rehearsal.
laughing and
And I've done it, and I've tried to hide it, and be macho about it, and say, well, hopefully, there's enough sweat on my forehead like it is now that I can hide that. It just blends in.
Yeah.
But there's something special that we can have all those emotions in one setting. But I think it's okay to be vulnerable. I think it's okay to continue to learn, and watch the other greats. I can go on for days, but don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to take risks musically.
You'd be a good coach. Maybe you could help coach some of the football teams or some of the baseball teams.
Take risks.
That's right. That's taking risks.
Take risks.
It's public. Well, we do everything in the public, which is similar to athletics because
That's true.
it's a live
It's
performance, and the rehearsal sounded pretty good. And here it is. I thought that I've seen things in performances go. We never had that problem.
Never had that problem.
But in your performance, I never noticed that. I noticed that they're very well prepared, and there's a kind of the one thing I liked about your performances, all the performances, I did so many of them, is that there's a heart to the composition. There's heart to the sound. The sound has a very solid sound, and any type of you have a student organization, there may be spots that are we're not so sure that that's as solid as it could be, but your groups always have a momentum behind them, that they have a kind of an umbrella sense of what the piece is about. So that's tremendous. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. We've been blessed with great students to be able to make that come to fruition. So
So where do you see things heading as far as the world of bands, whether it's the conducting, the writing, whatever? Do you see, where's the future? What do you think?
Ooh, man. In the wind band specifically, there are new works coming up all the time. There's so many talented composers.
Of course.
My office mate is one, Matt Conaway, who's done a lot of great work. You're here. I mean, just right here in the same city alone. And that's happening. So as conductors, we have access to a lot of amazing works, new works. I believe that the wind band field has a need to continue to grow in its diversity, particularly women. Women conductors. We've seen some outstanding conductors out there who I won't name, but there are many out. There's some that are out there, and I think there could be many more people of color, including composers. I mean, I think there's some stories that should be told, like the great one you told with Rapid City Overture. But how amazing would it also be to have a Native American write a piece like that?
They're out there. I hear from some of them lately.
And so getting those works to be performed getting conductors out there, people of color, women, that is healthy for the field, I believe. And so I think we're seeing that. I personally would like to see more of that. And beyond that, actually, speaking of our students, so there are no music majors here.
Yeah.
I think as music educators, we have an obligation to make impact to future music supporters, supporters of the art in general, where they continue to play or support it one way or the other, leadership, financial, whatever. And we have to give our all, whether we have a music department or not, to those musicians who care to continue. There are benefits all the way around that we have to look out for musicians who are not going to be music professionals, but have an opportunity to make impact in our profession.
Of course.
Thank you for having me on.
Ishbah, thanks so much.
you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so
On
much.
all the things you're doing. You're working so hard, and I'm sure you're going to be successful in all the areas that wherever you place yourself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much for joining us on the Conductors Workshop today, and please join us again. Thank you very much.